Hello, love. Welcome to Feeling Fridays here on the Libran Key. These are messages for the highest and greatest good of the Empath Collective here on Mama Gaia, part of the Elsh Collective, of course. Empaths, light workers, starseeds, and healers, awakened and awakening souls. If this video has found you or you have found it, know that there is a message here for you. That is always the intention of these messages. Messages specifically of soul support coming through for this reading. Archangel Sandalphon here to help us navigate these energies, helping us to ground these energies, because let me tell you, going into the meditation, going into opening up sacred space here, I was feeling very ungrounded, okay? As I film this, we have just had a full moon in Aries. The moon is still in Aries. I'm guessing probably at about 10 degrees Aries at the moment, give or take. This full moon is aspecting or traveling through, I should say, or in the same area, spectrum, of what's going on with the North Node in Aries, okay? So there is a very, Aries being a fire sign, a fiery aspect to this full moon. It being during Libra season, obviously, there is a lot being illuminated with regard to our temperaments, our individuality, our needs, voicing those needs, standing firm in our sovereignty as empaths, and a lot of emotional ups and downs happening quickly is how the energy is coming through. I'm going to start by sharing with you, going into the meditation, what was coming through. I was hearing the crack of thunder and lightning, seeing these images of storm clouds, of lightning bolts, of crackling, of thunder, seeing a mountain and this storm passing through this mountain with the sun visible behind these gray clouds, okay? And the energy that was coming through in this visual was very much about a storm passing and something clearing, okay? Clearing energies, water, the energy, the element of water, also huge in this. I'm going to be asking for further guidance through the Healing Waters Oracle. That's the only deck I'm going to be asking through today. And I'm also just feeling instinctively the need to work with rose quartz, okay? If that resonates for you, bringing that energy into this reading, because it feels like there is a lot of healing wanting to come up in the emotional body around this full moon. You know, tides rising is what I'm getting, and this energy of the water being our emotional body really coming to a tilt. And that's usually what happens during full moons, okay? But there's something here specific to the Empath Collective with regard to these energies having to do with the Kundalini energy rising, the Kundalini energy of empaths rising. Navigating through the storms is what I heard, emotional energies and breakthroughs at the brink of this eclipse season that we're moving into, okay? So we're kind of in the throes of it right now. And if you are feeling really off emotionally, and this is also really affecting you in your physical body, Archangel Sandalphon keeps on coming through to talk to us about being grounded, to really make sure, as a reminder, that you are grounding yourself and also shielding yourself is another thing that I'm hearing. There's something about this process going into the eclipse season that we are now entering. It's really important that we get a grapple on grounding, because there's actually a lot of good to be had grappling the quote-unquote bad is what I'm hearing. So Archangel Sandalphon wants to speak to this for a moment here before I get to popping the cards. We often associate eclipses or full moons. There's a kind of almost like, what are they called? Like I'm hearing the phrase old wives' tales. Like there's sort of like we have this sort of almost quote unquote superstitious energy around full moons, around eclipses. And what Archangel Sandalphon wants to remind us of is that many of those opinions, is how he's wording it, are actually because of a misunderstanding of things or a fear of the unknown. And we, as human beings here on Magaya, throughout history, anything that was unknown was feared. And a lot of this has to do with the imbalance of the masculine in relation to the feminine. Demetra George has written a book called Mysteries of the Dark Moon, I think it's called. And there's some very, very interesting information in that regarding this fear of the dark that we have, this fear of darkness, and how we oftentimes equate darkness to evil, when in fact darkness is the yin to the yang. Darkness is simply the energies of the feminine and the void. Darkness is an energy of deep healing, introspection, going within. It's the energies of very similar, interestingly enough, to water is what he's showing me. And that's why this water energy keeps on coming through, because we have to almost tame our own fears around this misunderstanding that is part of our own programming and indoctrination historically, is how he's putting it. These energies, full moons, eclipses, can be incredibly powerful in a very growth-oriented way for those of us who are tuning into these energies, who are conscious of these energies. He's coming back to the awareness being everything around this, and the fact that sometimes it's just the simple act of being aware and staying grounded that helps you to navigate and flow through these energies. Being like water through these energies. Okay, I'm going to start popping some cards now for, this really is a message for this Feeling Fridays of soul support around this full moon in Aries, coming out of these last 10 days, following the fall equinox, where we are now going into the darker aspects of the year, where the days are getting shorter. Because we're also grappling with that, is what he's bringing some attention here. And that this is a completely natural process. It is a cyclical process. As human beings, as souls having a human experience here on Mama Gaia, this is a process that we are sensitive to. And when we have other energies like the full moon, like solar eclipses and eclipses in general, right? Because October is going to be quite the month when it comes to what's going on energetically. Taking all of these things into consideration, they're going to have an effect on our body, and especially our emotional body at this particular moment in time, is what he's showing me, okay? As empaths, because this is a message specifically for the empath collective, okay? We have been getting this card. I think this is the third time. It's the second or third time this card has come out of this deck. Ride the waves. I feel like I need to pull the guidebook out for this if there's an activation or confirmation for this. Life lessons and growths. You will get through this. You're going to get through this season, okay? He's like, it's reminding me of just having a really good sense of humor around this, and remembering to also kind of remembering our joy through this, remembering to take it as lightly as we can, okay? To not get too caught up in the dramas of it is what he's showing me. We've gotten this one as well. This is a nod to Rainbow Warriors, to Mama Gaia, to the ascension process here on Mama Gaia. The warrior, or the rainbow. Oh my God, see? Yeah, definitely a confirmation for that. I'm just gonna hold that image up Beautiful, beautiful image. Again, very similar to this. It's like riding the waves. We're immersed in this energy. We are immersed in this energy right now. Sweet relief, new beginnings, a new way forward. This is what he is confirming in the images of what I was seeing regarding the storm passing and clearing. He's showing me the Hermit card now, and especially the light in the lantern in the Hermit card. And he's giving me the parallel of that light to the sun that I was seeing behind the clouds in the visual, in the images that he was presenting to me. So this is really about navigation. He keeps on coming back to navigation, and he's giving me the phrase North Star here. Remembering your North Star, remembering that when you are in alignment with your higher self, you can weather any storm. When you're in alignment with your purpose, your growth, your soul mission, with your highest and greatest good, you can weather any storm. Ride the waves, learn the lessons. You're going to get through this, okay? Because at the end, there's a rainbow. There's a rainbow that comes out after the storm, right? A new beginning that awaits you. And then we've got Selkie, come out of hiding. Okay, embrace who you truly are. So what's interesting with this solar eclipse energy, that's going to be happening on October 14th. And leading up to that, these energies are already pertinent, is what he's showing me. There is, because it's happening in Libra and during Libra season, there is again a redressing of a balance here with regard to self in relationship. How you see yourself in relationship, what you have learned, having gone through the storms, having gone through the riding those waves, right? How that makes you grow as a person. Reevaluating your relationships, reevaluating healthy boundaries. He's also showing me the Queen of Cups right now. I'm seeing her looking into that cup. There's a name for that. That urn-like cup. It starts with an S and I can't remember the name of it. Anyway, it's filled with water, right? There's this energy of reflection, of going within, of looking within your own cup, mirroring, looking at yourself in the mirror, embracing who you truly are and coming out of hiding. This is also a specific message for some of you regarding some kind of spiritual growth or practice and coming out of hiding with that as well. Becoming more vocal about that, because a lot of that is about your own personal growth, right? And we've got the Well Maidens at the bottom of the deck. These beautiful divine feminine energies coming through. Kindness, respect, reverence, compassion. Archangel Sandalphon is saying that this is for us, towards ourselves. Be kind to yourself. Respect yourself. Have reverence for the journey that you've been on so far. Have compassion for yourself, okay? I'm going to Ride the Waves because I feel like there's something in that wants to come through, okay? I think I may have read it last time. I'm going to start with the questions. These are soul inquiry. This is a soul inquiry card. How can you respond to the waves of your life instead of reacting to them? How can you let the transformation happen? So he's directing me also to the fact that some of us are resisting this transformation because some of us are fighting the waves. Some of us are swimming upstream. And this is a moment, sometimes we need to swim upstream, but this is a moment where we're being asked to go with the flow of it because it's connected to our highest and greatest good. This riding of the waves is happening to clear away certain old stagnant energies. He's directing me to the Well Maidens now for that. And having reverence for the water and the power of the water in doing that. He's also, if this resonates for you, speaking to rituals with water or ritual baths, communing with the water. This is going to resonate with some of you specifically. know as well, if you've been watching any of these videos beforehand, that I have a connection to water as an element that's been coming through quite a bit. So much of it is wanting to speak through me specifically. If you do have a practice, a witchcraft practice perhaps, where you work with water, you do rituals with water, again, you don't need to resonate as a witch or not for this, but it's coming through quite strongly right now for this. Because he's showing me people in practice with the water, if that makes sense to you, right? Working with the elements of water on a day-to-day, physically working with the elements of water, whether it is water within your home, the water that you are drinking, the moon water that you are making, creating, the water, the bodies of water that you are around, okay? He's even directing me to the water in the body, and this is very pertinent again to the full moon, okay? So he's that's just a side note there in terms of really paying attention to that. But yeah, this is really about being like water, allowing the transformation to happen, not resisting it. Water doesn't resist, right? It flows. Now, he's also, this is interesting, okay, because he's showing me the giving nature of water when something gives, not as in, not just in the giving, I give something to you, right? The allowance, you know, like he's like, the best way for me to understand it is like when you put your hand in water, it gives to your hand, right? It gives way to your hand. That's what he's trying to bring through here. Giving way. It's giving way to something bigger, okay? I'm going to read this paragraph and then I'm going to end the message here. You're most definitely living right now. And while you may be experiencing challenges in your life, they're shaping you into who you'll be someday soon. Just as strong winds that blow consistently over the ocean transfer energy to water to generate waves, the same happens when we feel the pressures of life knocking on our door. Our experiences shape us. The most compassionate people in the world are the ones who know the real depths of life. Be like the surfer, and instead of reacting to the waves or seeing them as things to be avoided, choose to respond. And he's directing me that this response comes from a centered place. This response comes from a centered heart, is how he's showing me. He's showing me the Merkaba again in the heart from the reading that we had a couple days ago. Yeah, and this has to do with your heart being like the chariot that carries you through these waves, okay? And when possible, see if you can find a way to ride those waves all the way to the shore. There may be times when you fall off your board, but you'll meet fellow surfers who are riding their own waves back to themselves. We are all fellow surfers here, riding those waves back to each other and back to ourselves. Okay. I'm going to leave that there. I am wishing each and every one of you a beautiful, reverence-filled full moon. All these full moon energies, remember that they dissipate for about a week, right? 3 days leading up and 3 days afterwards. Be gentle with yourself. Archangel Sandalphon also reminding us as I close out this reading to stay grounded, all right? However that works for you in the best way possible and always in a healthy way, okay? Thank you, Archangel Sandalphon, for being here with us. I thank you for sharing your time and your energy in this space with me. I'm sending you so much love wherever you are, in love and liberation always.